the STB side is going to be for the Auto Glim side. Let's see how it goes, shall we? This will be a laugh. And I think to top it off, we're going to have bracket racing, so the dial-ins are probably going to come up, maybe. Right, we won't know for the first one, because the first one, Mick Allen with the Quick Buck Corvette down there, has a bye run because he was #1 qualifier. So dial-in on the board, and as you can see, the decimal place is in the wrong place as well. But we have to work with what we got. 1050 is the dial-in that Mick Allen is looking to run. And he goes through the top end with, let's see how this works, a 1054 at 130. Like I said, you're probably not going to see the speeds because we've only got the one board, so you will only be seeing the ET. Right, so there's an example for you. So we've got a dial-in for our Auto Glim lane, which is 1010, and as you can see, it is in the bottom section of the STP side. So Sean Milsom ain't misbehaving, qualified second. He is got a bye run. He dials in a 1010, takes the win, and he goes through the quarter mile with a 1011 at 132. So bang on his dial-in. Right, now here comes the fun part. We've got two cars. So top light 1127 is for Tom Margerson with the Ford Pop. The second light below is a 1074 dial-in. That is for Graham Barton with the High Anxiety. So as the lights come down in formation, slight head start for Tom Margerson because of the difference on the bracket. And let's see which win light comes on at the top end. So the win goes to Tom Margerson with an 1131 on 1127. So Graham Barton's 1062 on a 1074. So unfortunately Graham Barton there breaking out. Right, next up. So dial-ins on the board, 1166 and 1130. 11C and 66 being for Jason Hollenby in the Jumping Jalapeno Falcon. Okay, so the lights are going to drop down almost simultaneously. Green light drag race. Right, so it's first to the finish without going quicker than your dial-in, and the winner of this race goes to, again, Jason Hollenby goes to 1176 on 1166 to a breakout for of 1127. Right, next pair. Nick Barnett with the Falcon. Taking on Steve Matthews with the Honky Tonkin Sedan. Steve Matthews with the quickest car in the Gasser Circus this weekend so far. So you see a dial in 1155 and 1082. So Nick Barnett with the Falcon will be leaving just under a second and a half before Steve Matthews. So the light comes down. Unfortunately, Nick Barnett takes the red, so the win automatically goes to Steve Matthews with the Honky Tonky Sedan. Let's see if it can get more hurt to injury. Nick goes through with 1154, so he would have broke out anyway to a 991. So good race for Steve Matthews as he rolls on to the next round. Right, next up, 1070 and 1166. Billy Jones with the Willis Coupe taking on Nervous Nick with the 1948 Austin. That's so retro. It's not. It's too retro for the retro show, yo. Okay, lights come down. Pretty similar reaction times for both cars. And the winner at the top end of the track is going to be Nervous Nick. Goes through with an 11.62 on an 11.60 to a breakout for Billy Jones, 10.68 on a 10.70. Right, next up, Nostalgia Pro Stock Bike. So we got 6 racers, 2 pairs and 2 solos. Okay then, so Nostalgia Pro Stock Bike, first to the finish racing. So proper riding job in the Auto Glim lane. It's got to head down. I think the win's going to go to our Auto Glim lane with an 880 at 152. So again, just to remind all of our Nostalgia Pro Stock Bike crew, just in case you didn't hear, we will be looking, we only have the scoreboards on the STP side. So top bulbs is for the STP lane, bottom bulbs on the STP side is for your Auto Glim lane. It'll alternate between speed and ET. So as you can see, the rider now is going to make it down the track. When they go through the finish line, the bulbs at the bottom of the STP lane will light up and give you the information for the Auto Glim lane. So 11:31 at 114 miles an hour. Okay, so Gary Hester going through the gears, 131.64, 123 at the 8th, and goes through with an 887 at 149 miles an hour. Okay, so next up, Supercharged Outlaws. I think some of them may have packed up, unfortunately. Some of them are broke. What we've got coming around is what we've got coming around. So, Mr. Freeman. Absolutely gorgeous coupe down there. Now, the thing about the Supercharged Outlaws, this class, is there is one rule and one rule only. Your car must be supercharged. You can run whatever fuel you like, whatever car you like. They're going to be noisy. I'm going to watch the little Mexican wave in the grandstand as people go, oh, noisy. And they do love a good rolling burnout. Now, essentially, as always, if this is your first time ever at Santapod Raceway and you're like, what are they doing? The reason we do a burnout is basically to put some heat in the tyres. If you look down on the start line, also there are 2 rubber 11s, which is where Keith has just laid down rubber on the start line. His crew member is now going to back him up onto those rubber lines as well, which basically gives him a little bit extra traction on the start line. Okay, so it's going to be a solo run for Keith Freeman in El Loco. At the 8th mile, doing 112 miles an hour, and Keith goes through the top end with a 963 at 141. Now there's going to be a real good mix of vehicles coming around the corner now in our Run Your Brung section. Obviously it is the retro show, so we've got some old school bikes, old school cars, and we also have Kit Fest on site as well. So the pairing lanes is absolutely full of kit cars. Now this is the only thing about having a kit car. They're awesome and lightweight for going around a track, but when you're trying to get the weight transfer for launching on a drag strip, there is no weight to transfer. Okay, next up, Darren Scannell down there with the Escort. Put in some decent passes yesterday down into the 9s. Car going left and right. 150 60 foot at the 8th mile doing 111. Remember, it's going to come in the STP lane at the bottom. 9.91 at 142. So just a little heads up for all of our guys in Run What You Brung. If you're coming around onto the start, please make sure your cars are dry. You need to find yourself a cloth. There's a couple of traders around there that do have microfiber cloths if you need it, but you need to make sure that your cars are dry before you come around onto the start line, because if you come around and put water on the track, then we've got to spend time drying it up. Okay, so another one of our supercharged outlaws coming round onto the start line. Looks like Joe Bond coming underneath the tower again. Fingers in your ears time. Okay, so both parachutes armed on the back of Joe Bond's slingshot. Now if you're looking down on the start line and you're thinking retro, you're thinking nostalgia, this is exactly what our Top Fuel dragsters used to look like back in the day. Front engine dragster, slingshots. Wow, 1.0860 foot and 163 at the 8th. Joe pulls the chute and goes through with a 750 at 117 miles an hour. Right, so with that, we go from monstrously fast and super horsepower into Run With Your Brung. Just a reminder for all of our Run With Your Brungers, please make sure your cars are super dry before coming around onto the start line. You see our Scirocco guy doing his best job with his t-shirt. We appreciate it, buddy. Thank you very much. We just can't have anyone coming down onto the drag strip with a wet car, because obviously if you drip and leave it on the track, like we said, that water is going to go nowhere. Meanwhile, the kit car goes up with a 1433 at 98 miles an hour. Okay, oh yes, Peugeot 309 GTI. Used to always want one of them, taking on the Mazda MX-5. Mazda's going to get there first and goes through with a 1516 at 83 to a 1629 at 90. Right, next pair. Scirocco's make it down. If you're in the market for a VW Scirocco, the white Scirocco Exhibit A in Auto Glenlail is for sale. And we have a 1490 at 95 to a 1708 at 83. Next up, pair of Escorts. Looks like everyone's pairing up against their friends today, which is good to see. Bit of rivalry. Well, the win goes to the Auto Glenlain, 1371 at 99 to a 1348 at 109. Alright, next pair of kit cars from Kit Fest. Hopefully you got a chance to look around these cars this morning. Nice little side-by-side run. 1297 at 112 to a 1308 at 102. 1297 being a really respectable time. Alright, next pair. Another kit car. Going to get there first. Going through with 1549 at 88. And 1987 at 65. Well, if you ever wanted a bit of a David and Goliath matchup, this would be it, wouldn't it? So V8 muscle car versus motorbike engine tubular chassis kit car. And obviously the win goes to the V8 with an 11.51 at 126 to a 15.41 at 95. Yep. Alright, next pair then. So, two bikes, neck and neck, which also makes it good for the screen. We got a 10.52 at 127. Unfortunately, no timing data for our rider in the autoglim lane. That was their own fault. They went way too early. Next pair. Win goes to the autoglim lane. 17.20 at 80 miles an hour to 17.68 at 76. Now, looking on the start line, you'd probably be looking going, that's a bit of a matchup, isn't it? Ultra Dragster versus Mini. I think this actually will be quite close. Or maybe I was lying. Well, the Alta goes through with a 10.61 at 132. And the Mini goes through with 15.94 at 82. Okay then, next pair. Peugeot 309 back around for his second run of the day already. Okay, so the kit car's going to get there first. Can he beat a 14.33? Yes, he can. 13.82 at 99 miles an hour. Now, this will be a good side-by-side match. Two very fast Ford Escorts on the start line. We've already seen a 9.91 and a 10.41. Well, the reaction time win was easy for Darryl as he goes through with a 9.97 at 140. Okay, next pair. We've got a 1365 at 99 to a 1370 at 107. Okay. So the kit car in the Autoglim lane has already put in a 1267. And this time goes through with a 1327 at 111 to a 1319 at 101. Next ones. Kit car's going to go through. 1553 at 87. To a 2087 at 65. Well, that was a good launch by the Scirocco to be side by side with the rear wheel drive Mazda. Pretty similar. Looks like the Scirocco is going to get to the finish line first this time. Goes through with a 1590 at 85 to a 1705 at 69. Okay, next pair. Capri. Well, it's not very often you get two purple and pinky cars, is it? The Mini with plenty of wheel spin. It's a good little side-by-side matchup at the 8th mile. We have got 60 to 64, but I think the Mini, who got the better reaction time, is going to get there first. Goes through with a 1716 at 81 to a 1710 at 84. Okay. Right, so we are just basically currently waiting on some vehicles to make it into the parent lanes. Okay then. So we've got some vehicles back in the pairing lanes. We've got the Escort versus the kit car. We've already seen the Escort go as quick as 13.65. And this time goes through with a 14.20 at 96 to a 15.57.88. All right, next pair. Well, slight misshift from the kit car there. Looking to improve on a 15.37 and does. 14.39 at 96 miles an hour. And an 18.99 at 66. Right, battle of the minis. Neither of these two drivers are going to want to lose this race. And it is a good side-by-side match. 69 to 63 at the 8th. I think the STP lane's going to get there first. 15.82 at 85 to a 16.55 at 83. Okay, pair of bikes, 106, 107 at the 8th, and first at the finish is the Auto Glim Lane with a 10.53 at 130 and a 10.43 at 127. Both bikes and both riders improve. Right, let's have a look, shall we? Actually got some charge in my iPad now, so let's just say hello, shall we? Good morning to everyone. I'll say good morning, isn't it? Oh, it's been that way. Good afternoon to everybody now watching on our Facebook page and live stream and our YouTube channel, Santapod TV. Thank you very much for joining us. Happy Father's Day to everybody sitting at home. Why not fill the comments with a Happy Father's Day to your father? There we go. Don't forget, click like on each of those streams. And make sure you've subscribed as well. You've joined us here on a rather late retro show. Bit drizzly this morning, but thank God it stopped. We've managed to get some of the cars out on the track. We have had round one of the Gasser Circus and round one of our Nostalgia Pro stock bike. We've also had a couple of supercharged Outlaws come out. Joe Bond and Kevin Freeman made it round. I think the rest of them had unfortunately either broken or kind of given up on the weekend. And with that, Gasser Circus coming round for eliminations round number 2. If you're watching on the live stream, and hopefully the computer will still be working for you, so it'll be okay, but just in case not, our right hand board, the auto glim lane, unfortunately went pop yesterday, so we only have time and data in the STP lane. The top bulbs of the STP lane are for our STP lane. The bottom information on the bulbs of the STP lane is for the auto glim side. So at one time it'll only show you the times and then it will revolve to the speed. So at the moment, there we go, dial-ins on the board, 11.70 and an 11.60. So just a tenth difference between the dial-ins of Jason Hollenby in the Jumping Jalapeno and Nervous Nick. So for the majority of people, the lights are going to come down exactly together. Evil driver wanting to go red there. Clear reaction time advantage for one of our racers. So Jason Hollenby looking for an 11.70 and we go through with an 11.85 to take the win to Nick's 11.76 on an 11.60 dial-in. So it's the end of the day for Nick. Jumping Jalapeno jumps on to the semi-finals. Right, next up, Ain't Misbehaving. Sean Milsom taking on Tom Margerson. Dial-ins on the board, 11.27 and 10.10. Unfortunately, a red light there for Sean Milsom, giving Tom Margerson the win. With that, in fact, Tom Margerson gets a bye to the final. Right, last of us. Quarterfinals. The quickest of this weekend's Gasser Circus races. Steve Matthews dials in 9.91. Mick Allen in the Quick Buck Corvette dials in a 10.50. Again, one of the cars with the better reaction time. The win goes to at the top end. The win goes to Steve Matthews with a 10.21 at 132 to a 10.57 at 121. Reaction time win there. Alright, next up, Nick Barnett and Graham Barton. Both of these eliminated in round one. Having a bit of fun. 11.28 and a 10.76. Right, Billy Jones in the Grumpy Grizz Willis Coupe on a solo run. Out of competition, goes through with a 10.67 at 124. All right, Keith Freeman, one of our few supercharged outlaws that are still on the site. First run today, he opened the show with a 963. Straighter this time, 143.60 foot. Keith at the 8th mile doing 111. Goes through with a 974 and 139. Next up, Nostalgia Pro Stock Bike. These guys and girls are not wasting any time in getting back round for their second runs of the day. Okay, so 850 at 152 and a 1076 at 134. 850 being the fastest vehicle down the track so far in the Nostalgia Pro Stock Bike class. Nice launch for Claire Rule in the STP lane, 123.60 foot, the 8th mile doing 102, and goes through with a 953 at 136 to a 1025 at 109. Oh, so got some big old fat treaded tyres on the front of the Escort. Oh, no. Well, unfortunately, loads and loads of water coming out of the back of the Escort van. So just bear with us a second, because that goes up to around about 300 foot. 1369 at 100 to a 1609 at 79. Okay. Oh no. Uh-huh. Okay, so kit card in 83 at 8th and goes through with a 1347 at 99 miles an hour. VW Scirocco on the start line for sale, never raced or rallied. If you want to get yourself a nice classic VW Scirocco, alright, coming up in just a second, the Fiat Uno. Ooh, that just reminds me. Well gone 2 o'clock now. If you head to Santapod Facebook page, we should be able to see the winners of our show and shine. Right, let's have a look, shall we? Oh yes, look at it. Looks like a VW's day out. Best of show, Mark II Golf. Very tidy. VR6, of course. Best modified. supercharged VR6. Best 80s to 95 is a Ford Fiesta. The best of the 70s is an early BMW. Judge's choice is an Opel. Best standard is a Peugeot 205 convertible. Best pre-70s was a Mustang. Best engine was from a Ford Escort. And best two-wheeler, Suzuki GS 1000. So congratulations to all of those Autoglym winners. It was about nearly an hour ago, so you would have got your trophy by now. But just pointing out to anyone else, if you're here or at home, go to Santa Pod Raceway's Facebook page and you can see the winners of our show and shine, sponsored by Autoglym, at the Retro Show Lite. Okay, next pair of bikes. A rider in the STP lane looking over his fellow rider to see where they are. And we go through with a 1034 at 130 to a 1062 at 126. Okay, so the Escort on a solo run and goes much quicker this time, goes through with a 1338 at 101. Alright, next up, pair of minis. Pretty similar to the 8th. And the win goes to our Autoglym Lane, 1559 at 86 to a 1579 at 83. All right, Fiat Uno back for his second run. 68 at the 8th and goes through the quarter. 1629 at 85. Oh, the Escort literally back around again. 13.28 at 102. Improved. Okay, looking into the pairing lanes. We have Steve Matthews. He is one of our Gasser Circus racers with the honky tonkin sedan, as I was stretching there. So it looks like we're collecting our Gasser Circus races for what would be semi-finals now. Okay. So, Gasser Circus cars coming around the corner. This is the semi-final. These cars are knocking them out of the park. We've only been running for about an hour. We're already into the semi-finals. So I'm guessing they want to get it done and get on the road. So, Jason Holloway with a jumping Jalapeno will be taking on Steve Matthews with the Honky Tonkin. So this is bracket racing again. In a second you'll see the dial-ins come up on the board. Quite a big difference between the two cars, nearly 2 seconds on the lights. Steve Matthews is going to be waiting. You'll see the Ford Falcon take the lights and leave. Nearly 2 seconds head start, and it's down for Steve Matthews to capture him at the top end, drive around him, but not go quicker than 9.91 at the big end. So both cars into stage, the lights activate in Jason's lane. Oh, and a big red for Steve Matthews, unfortunately. So Jason Hollenby goes on to the final, where he will face the Tinseltown Hustler. Okay, so Tom Argerson got a bye into the final, where he is now going to face Jason Hollenby. And then straight after that, we have a couple of our Gasser Circus cars coming round, and they've joined into the Run What You Brung, because heck, why not? Might as well make use of the quiet lanes today. Well, luckily, Tom was on a solo, so he cannot lose it. So he goes through to the final, even though he red lit. If we were over on the beautiful island of Malta, they'd disqualify you for that. Always quite funny, that rule is. It gets really confusing. Everybody won. No, he didn't. Come on. Okay then, so two of our guest circus cars who are getting the run outside of competition. Still getting to run with the dial-ins at 1010 and 1069. Breakout 1003 and a 1071 and 123 for Graham Barton. Oh, great wheelie for Nick Barnett in the Falcon. He goes through with an 11.16 and 118. Billy Jones goes through with a 10.80 and 124. So, as you can see, the few cars that we do have taking part in Run What You Brung, well, they are definitely getting their money's worth being out a hot lap. Well, it's a good little race. Mini versus Uno. Mini gets there first with a 15.89 at 86. To a 16.39 at 85. Good old burnout there by the escorts. Trying to improve on a 13.28. Unfortunately goes through with a 13.62 and 99 to a 16.20. At 84. Okay, so the Mini faces the Fiat Uno again. Uno, no, no, no. And Mini's going to win it again. Goes through with a 16.01.86 to a 16.71 at 83. Right, Uno again. Goes through with a 1657 at 83. Wow. Run number 9 for the Escort. Not many people are going to believe him. Yeah, so I went Sandspot. I got there at 8 o'clock in the morning. We didn't race till about 2 o'clock in the afternoon. I got nearly 10 runs in. Ah, what have we got? What have we got? It is final time of Gasser Circus. Okay then, ladies and gentlemen, this is the final of Gasser Circus for Retro Show Lite 2021. Been a bit of a weird one, as you can imagine. They did manage to get a load of qualifiers in yesterday, and today we have absolutely flown through eliminations. So Tom Margerson with the Tinseltown Hustler in the Ford Pop, in the STP lane dials in 1127. Jason Hollenby in the Jumping Jalapeno, first time in the Auto Glim lane today, dials in an 1170. The lights come down, we have got a green light drag race, but unfortunately the issue that Tom had in the semi-finals has obviously come back again. So as long as Jason Hollenby doesn't go quicker than 1170, he wins, and he does, 1197 at 103 miles an hour. So congratulations to Jason Hollenby and the Jumping Jalapeno Ford Falcon, winner of the Retro Show Lite Gasser Circus. Okay then. Keith Freeman with El Loco. He's back out. definitely making the most of it. These supercharged outlets, he's on run number 6. That's pretty decent. Looks like we got Pro Stock, Nostalgia Pro Stock bike guys coming around the corner as well, guys and girls. Correct myself there. Slap myself on the wrist. In it. Finished with that paperwork because we are done with the finals. No, I said there hasn't been that many people on the drag strip today for obvious reasons, because we didn't really get going till about 2 o'clock this afternoon. Some people may have already left because it is Father's Day. Again, happy Father's Day to everybody out there. Now that's the straightest launch that Keith has done so far today. 148.60 foot, 110 at the 8th, and Keith goes through with a 985 at 138 miles an hour. That's what I'm saying, yeah. If your father has been on the drag strip today, why not treat him to a Father's Day gift of a photo from Blackett Photography? Ian is out there today, he turned up to get photos of everyone and everything that's been on the drag strip today, so please do support our official on-track photographer. You can see Ian is out there snapping away already, and Paula is round in the Blackett Photography trailer, where you can go check out your photos now. If you've been here all weekend and you were on the drag strip yesterday, because yesterday was awesome. We were really blessed with the weather yesterday. And loads of cars, really nice mixture. If you were here yesterday and you were on the drag strip, those photos are still available as well today. So make sure you go and visit Blackett Photography before your day is done. Alright, Nostalgia Pro Stock bike. And our riders go through with a 901 and an 857. So no improvement for either rider. Okay, Uno versus Mini. Oh, the Uno got the light this time. Way better reaction time, so he's just out of front of the Mini. Can he hold it all the way to the stripe? 70 miles an hour to 67. I think the Mini has already pulled it back. 1560 to 1664. Our two Scirocco's on the start line again. So the black Scirocco goes through first with a 1565 to a 1593. Next up, Escort versus Capri. Big box of neutrals for our Capri driver, but still manages to get a gear and continue pulling away from the Capri. Looking to beat a 1328, but it's not going to be this run as he goes through with a 1481 to a 1689. Right, Paul Maggs versus Darren Scannell. Again, Darren always good on the lights, doing 113 and 8th. Go 967 at 143 for Darren Scannell. To a 965 at 132. What a cracking race. All right, Ford Fiesta. Pow! To the Fiesta. Pow! Oh, 80 at the 8th. 1407 at 104. Okay, so pair of bikes, 1037 at 131 to a 1068 at 125. Escort again. 13.49 at 100. He's got to be into double digits now. $13.53 at 100. Run number 12. Who has murdered the darkness song? No, it wasn't the darkness, was it? I've forgotten. It's been about 10 years. Well, we have got like 2 cars in the lanes and then another 2 cars, but the problem is they're the only 10 cars that we've got going round. So at some point they have to stop to let their cars cool down a little bit. Oh no, they're on the move now. Yeah. I'm just having a quick flick through some of one of our staff members' photos from Show and Shine. How did that Skoda not win? I'd have had that down for best modified all day long. Right, Ford Fiesta versus the Uno. The Fiesta's best run so far today was a 14.07. That was one of the only runs he's had so far today. This time goes through with a 14.44.98. Award for most runs today. Lucky number 13. Escort goes through. 13.47. 100 miles an hour. See more. Okay. Paul Max versus Darren Scannell again. Oh, they both missed the same shift at exactly the same time, so they're still side by side all the way to the finish. And the win this time goes 10:39 to a 10:50. Darren Scannell takes the win. Okay. Fiesta's back around again. He's got his passenger. Looking to improve on a 14.07. 5 out of 100 with a big old burnout from the escort below us. And this time goes through with a 1356 at 99. Okay, 1038 to a 1029. Let's get loud. Well, we are just kind of waiting on something to come into the parent lanes. But I must warn you, the clock is ticking. Because it is Father's Day. There's plenty of fathers working. And we're sitting looking at empty lanes. Oh. Oh, looks like we got a car. We got a car. It is a good old Father's Day, though. Hopefully you've enjoyed yourself. I know it was a tough morning. We've had a little bit of action this afternoon. The evening's going to be better. 3 minutes time, World's Strongest Man final begins in California. I'm so looking forward to that. I won't tell you the results, because most of you probably watch it at Christmas. But I'm fully excited. It's going to be good. It's going to be good. And then we've got the football at 5. It's a good night. It's a good night. And I'm going to go home, and then I'm going to go put my feet up and say it's Father's Day. Where's my dinner? And where's my presents? And then I'll be told, I've had the kids all day. Well, we did have a car in the lanes. He seems to have gone. Wow. Don't forget, next weekend is the Festival of Power, where we will have cars in the lanes. Lots of cars in the lanes. Everyone is super eager to get the races from the first round because it was a bit of a wet one, the first one. So next weekend is going to be a good one. We do have Nitro Funny Car. We have Nostalgia Nitro Funny Car. They're taking part in the Cannibal. We have Top Fuel Dragster. I believe Suzanne Callan is coming to do some passes as well. Round 1 of Top Speed Automotive Street Eliminator, and then round 2 of many of our Motorsport UK classes. So if you haven't already got your tickets for the Festival of Power, they are still available if you go to the santapod.com website. Of course, for the people watching on the live stream, it will be on the live stream because obviously we do have limited numbers. When the restrictions weren't lifted, we were still limited to numbers of people to come in. I believe Saturday day tickets may have sold out, but there are still tickets available for the Friday and the Sunday, and potentially maybe full weekend tickets. Hey! We have 2 bikes. Unfortunately, they've told us that this is going to be their last runs. So okay, so both bikes leave. 168 to 98. 1027 at 128 to a 1201 at 104. Okay, then to you, the wonderful five that are in the grandstand. Is that five people? What different five? Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. Unfortunately, there's no one else coming round in the lane, so we are done for today. You are our hardcore race fans. Thank you very much for holding on to the very bitter end. Hope you had a good day despite the weather this morning and got to see show and shine. Safe journey home. We'll see you hopefully next weekend at the Festival of Power here at Santapod Raceway. If you can't make it, make sure you're tuned in to Santapod TV and the Santapod Facebook page. See you next week.